Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sree's Daily Global COVID-19 Show. My name is Sree Sreenivasan, and it's my honor to host this daily conversation around various aspects of the COVID crisis. On Sundays, we do something a little different. We call it Positivity Night around here, and it's episode number 173. We've been on the air for 173 straight days of the lockdown in New York. We call it positivity with an asterisk. We try to keep things generally positive despite every rotten thing going on. We interview positive, purposeful people who can get us ready for the week. And tonight we have a very special guest to help us do just that. Tina deVaron is with us. She's a songwriter, singer, jazz pianist, and Billboard-charting songwriter. CBS TV's Family Matters dubbed her the First Mother of Songwriting. So let's get right into it. I will bring her on in just a minute. Please tag your friends. Please share with your friends and family around the world. They can watch us live or later. Hi, everybody. I'm Sree. I'm the Marshall Loeb Visiting Professor of Digital Innovation at Stony Brook School of Journalism, and just so happy to have you all with us. We're live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. I'm also the co-founder of Digimentors, a social, digital, and virtual events consulting company. Our motto: don't cancel your event without talking to us first, and don't even start planning your virtual event without talking to us. My email address is right here. We love geeking out on events. We have done events for 50 people and 100,000 people. We presume your events are somewhere in between. We are going to just tell you a little bit about this show. We've had in our first 165 episode more than 1 million viewers, 122 million social impressions, more than 300 guests from 62 cities in 16 countries, including the chief scientist of the World Health Organization. Our archives are on youtube.com/Sreenet, and our partnership is with Scroll Global and Scroll.in. And our producers are Rose Horowitz at Rose Horowitz 31 and Vandana Menon, Vandana_Menon. So let's get ready to bring on our guest so that she can entertain us, put some positivity in our step, and help us get ready for the week. Ready for some positivity, everybody? Here she is. Please say hi to Tina. How are you, Tina?
I'm fine, thanks. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here.
Thank you for being here on a Sunday night on short notice, for being here to help us get through this week. My first question always is, how are you? Where are you? And how's your family doing through the pandemic?
Well, I'm fine, thank God, and my husband is fine. We are here on the Upper West Side, right next to Central Park, and the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I have two sons. My son Joe is 29, my son Nick is 32, and our daughter-in-law Jenny is married to Nick, and they have a little baby. Well, he's not a baby anymore, he's a toddler, Bobby. And so I have to report that everybody is doing very well, thank you.
Oh, we're so glad to hear that. And you're near us on the Upper West Side. We're on 96th and Broadway. And so,
wow.
And I know a little bit about you because we met someone very close to you who was on our show about 150 episodes ago. So tell us about Peter, please.
So my husband, Peter Larantis, is we got married in '83. We're celebrating more than 40 years together. And
wow.
Peter started out as an actor. He acted on Broadway, a singing actor, and then he became a writer. And he writes wonderful novels, action adventure novels for middle grade readers. So 4th, 5th, 6th graders mostly. He writes some young adult novels. His new series is called Throwback. It's a time travel series. It's published by HarperCollins, and it's an amazing series. I love it.
So our producer, Rose Horowitz, her husband, Alan Katz, organized a wonderful children's authors show about, as I said, about 150 episodes ago. And Peter was on that, and we had such a great time with him. So it was great now to hear that he's your production assistant for the night.
That's right, he is.
Yeah, and we're just so grateful. Tell us about your work and what it's like to be a musician during pandemic, your regular gigs, I presume, which rely on you being able to perform in front of in-person audiences, had to come to a halt. So what was that like, and how have you remained positive through all of this?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. Well, I had just had some very exciting news right at the beginning of 2020, which was that I am the sort of the master of ceremonies, mistress of ceremonies, if you will, and the piano player and the kid wrangler at an amazing event for kids at the Carlisle Hotel Bemelman's Bar called Tea with Madeline. And we had just celebrated our 15th year. So we started in 2005, and we had a sold out run in November. They run it in the run up to the holidays, so November and December. We had sold out, and people couldn't get tickets. They were calling the Carlisle, how do I get in? So the Carlisle decided to extend, and we were thrilled. We were going to have one show or two shows a month of Tea with Madeline, and people were calling and making their reservations. And we were going to see if we could run it into the spring, and then bring it back in the concentrated form before the holidays this year. Well, needless to say, we had to cancel our March. The emails came in about 2 weeks before the shows, and we had to, of course, cancel the shows. So, and I don't think we're going to start up again this season. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll go back to Madeline Tea when we have when it's safe to do live in-person performances. But it's a hilarious kind of jazz for kids event where people come with their kids, and kids stand around the piano and sing, and we make up songs, and we sing everything from Taylor Swift to Doe Deer from The Sound of Music, and all kinds of other songs the kids ask for. It's just a really wonderful show. Right now, that show is dark, and so I'm not doing that, and I'm not really doing shows like that online. I'm focusing more on writing. I'm writing a couple of theater projects right now. So that's what I'm doing.
And that's how it's keeping you busy. I see you're at your piano, and you were so kind to agree to take a request or two later in the show. So she said that we can, our viewers can suggest their favorite Gershwin songs, or Cole Porter, or Lennon and McCartney, Joni Mitchell. So yep. Folks, get into the comments and tell us what you'd like to hear, and we'll see if Tina is able to pick one or two of those songs and play them for us. Let's see who's watching. We call this our global tour, where we say hi to folks watching from around the world. Jonathan's watching from the East Village, and he's watched 173 episodes in a row, and also has been a guest on our air. Tina, your favorite memories of the East Village?
My favorite memories of the East Village.
Favorite memory.
My favorite memory of the East Village was doing a show at the Sidewalk Cafe. Was it 3 years ago? I think, with my son playing guitar, and I played piano, and I played a great song that I wrote about gaining weight after you have children called Gravity, and it brought the house down. I don't even know how the Sidewalk Cafe is doing, but that's one of my favorite East Village memories, was playing that gig at the Sidewalk Cafe.
And it's such a vibrant, exciting place, the East Village. We're hoping every place there survives all those restaurants and clubs and everything. Rajani's watching from Toronto. Toronto memory?
I think my son Joe, we went to Toronto for an overnight to explore the subway. And we did an 18-hour drive, dropping older son off in Ohio for college, and then driving up to Toronto to check out the subway and to check out Chinatown in Toronto, I think. And we ate at a Fujian restaurant.
All right.
A short, fun visit.
Let's see. Ashok Sharma is watching in Kerala in India. Have you been?
I have not. I would love to go.
Just remember we stopped off because I had to fuel from Nepal.
Oh, we did.
Peter's filling you in with.
I know, Peter's filling me in. Peter's reminding me we did a residency at a school in Kathmandu in Nepal. So we stopped in India for the plane to refuel. But that's I'd like to go to India sometime.
It sounds like one of those Indiana Jones where, you know, the plane departs and then you land in one place and then you go to another. That's what it sounded like. But yeah, we've got to get you to India. If you've been to Nepal, I'm sure people would like to have you there. And Ashok is telling us that it's Onam, the festival of colors in Kerala. In India, it's a harvest festival. And so I'm sending greetings to all folks from Kerala around the world. And we have a viewer in Argentina who's with us, Chitra. And Mary and Charlie are watching in North Caldwell. Charlie's actually a sponsor of the show, and he may be looking for the sponsorships, which we used to do right at the beginning, but we wanted to get right into the show. So Charlie and all the other sponsors were experimenting and putting the sponsorships into after the first 10, 15 minutes. So watch for that. And thank you, Charlie, for your sponsorship. Stefan is watching. Rajan is watching from Long Island. And you must have played some good gigs in Long Island.
Well, years ago, I sang with wedding and bar mitzvah bands all over Long Island. But my husband is also from Long Island. He's from Freeport, New York. So we spent a lot of time out there. Yep.
Nice. And folks, if you're just watching, we are just getting started here. Please share this video with your friends and family on Facebook, on Twitter. We're live right now, and we'd love for them all to join us. Stefan is watching from Ramsey, New Jersey. Sunday Night Positivity, the best way to lead us into a new week, he says. And my mom is watching in Kerala. Hi, Amma, love you. Happy Onam to you and all our family around the world. And Mark Lee is watching in Durham, North Carolina, hoping 2021 is filled with live performances all around the nation, even if we have to do it in the new normal. How about any North Carolina memories?
North Carolina, not so many. I don't.
When we first got together.
Long ago, I think Peter was acting in a dinner theater production of Funny Girl, and I went down to visit him.
Nice. And Peter sends 4 hearts. We have to ask him, why not 5? Why not 3? Why 4?
Why 4
I'm sending
hearts?
some more right now.
He's sending more right now. He's busy.
Okay, so now Apollo's watching from Vegas, so you must have a story that's good for public consumption about Vegas.
No Vegas memories. I tried, you know, back in the day, I wrote plenty songs that I pitched to Celine Dion, but I never got a song on a Celine Dion record. So no Vegas for me yet.
Not yet. All right, we'll hold good thoughts. Mark is watching from Montauk, New York.
All right. Right near where Peter grew up.
Yeah. And Martin's watching in Riverdale in New York.
All right.
And folks, we're taking requests for a little later in the show. So Mark says, would love to hear Let's Misbehave or What Is This Thing Called Love?
Oh, wow. Cole Porter. All right, then.
And Apollo says, Joni Mitchell, Case of You is a great song.
You know, we may have to just be making a lot of music tonight. It's one way to stay very positive.
Absolutely. And Tina and Sree, hi, watching from Murray Hill in Manhattan. Susan's watching from Reading, Connecticut. And we have someone else watching from India in Tamil Nadu. And happy Onam, Sree. Peter's weighing in now with many hearts. I think he's made up for it. And how about this for positive? Ashok was on quarantine after testing negative after 10 days of institutional quarantine after having 10 days of being positive. And so there is some confusion now, as you know, of when to test and how to test and everything else. Let's take a look at your website and talk a little bit about your work and walk us through what we can find here. And this is your new project, Tuckerman's Ravine. Tell us about it.
Yes, Tuckerman's Ravine is my 4th album. It came out just a few years ago. I need to update this website. But Tuckerman's Ravine was mostly an album of songs about being an empty nester. It was an album of songs about what happens when your kids grow up and leave and how you feel about that. Because my first albums were all original songs that I'd written about being a mom. And but Tuckerman's Ravine also has a song on it called Some Things Will Never Change, which is the song that I made that official video of. So when you go to my website, the landing page, the page you land on is the video, Some Things Will Never Change. And I wrote that about my son flying off to do a Fulbright in Mongolia, in outer Mongolia, in Ulaanbaatar, and and how when your kids grow up and move all over the world, what doesn't change is how much you love them and how much you want them to stay safe. So I wrote about that and I made a video about that.
That is awesome. Our twins are 17, and I can think of nothing more sad than turning 17 with your parents. And they are now, going into seniors in high school. Tell us what it's like to have your kids leave the nest.
Well, it's going to be very unexpected for you, Sree. The quiet is almost deafening. It gets so quiet, especially after COVID, right? But I think also it's wonderful when they come home to visit. It's wonderful when you stay connected. It's wonderful when you start to relate to each other as adults. Both of my sons are musicians, and it's not easy. It's an uncertain time for them too, but they're very brave and they're still making music through all of this. So it's a wonderful change. Good luck to your sons. Are they seniors in high school?
One's a boy and a girl. They're both seniors in high school, and they're getting ready for online for the first semester. And that's not fun either. But they understand that we've made it through 175 days. Let's keep it going.
Right.
Mark says, I miss dinner theater. I wish dinner theater would return. Friends of mine performed Pearly Victorious and other dinner theater performances. Can we hear Both Sides now by Joni? And High from East Side.
Now we have 4 requests. Do you realize we need to start making a list here?
We'll go back up and see
okay.
If we can. And then Anonymous says in India, it's already Monday morning. Rose is watching from Connecticut, and she's at Rose Horowitz 31, and she's tweeting at Rose Horowitz 31. So everyone, please follow her, and Vandana Menon as well. We're looking at your bio here. You've got such a fascinating story, all the things you've done, including CBS TV calling you the one of the great mothers who write. And tell us what they meant. The first mother of songwriting.
First mother of songwriting. I think that was it Cindy Shu? Yeah. Who came and covered the Madeline tea when we were first opening in the aughts. She came and did a piece on us, and so we were talking about how I was working with the kids at the Madeline tea, but I also wrote all these songs about how it feels to be a mom. What happened was I was playing jazz to make a living, playing Gershwin and Cole Porter and Joni Mitchell and James Taylor, all the requests people would ask for at a place like the Waldorf, where I played 5 nights a week, 5 hours a night on Cole Porter's piano. But I started writing songs, and I started writing.
Sorry, I have to interrupt to get that story about Cole Porter's piano. That's amazing. So he lived at the hotel, and then he donated the piano to the hotel, right? Is that the story?
Cole Porter lived in the Waldorf Towers, and he wrote many of his great works on this gorgeous 9-foot Steinway that was painted on the top. It had a scene painted on the top, and he willed his piano to the Waldorf. And so the Waldorf had a restaurant with a cocktail lounge attached called Peacock Alley, and it had music from 5 o'clock in the afternoon until 1 o'clock in the morning. They had 2 musicians working basically full time, 7 days a week. Actually, it would be more like 4 musicians, because people would work the weekends and then people would work the weekdays. So I played from Tuesday to Saturday, from 8 o'clock at night till 1 in the morning, 5 hours a night, 5 days a week for 6.5 years. So I had to learn a lot of great American standards. And it also happened to be a place where Frank Sinatra was doing a show at Radio City. He would come in with his people after his show and have drinks, and I would be there playing the piano. So people like Frank Sinatra, Cy Coleman, the great Broadway composer, would come in. George H.W. Bush came in, the Bee Gees with their parents, because they were here for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I had to really be on my toes. It was truly the College of Musical Knowledge.
And did you never get nervous playing in front of some of those stars?
Well, I have to say, Frank Sinatra was a little intimidating, because he not only was a star, he was an impeccable musician. And so yeah, it was quite an experience. I have to say, one of the times he came in, I had a brand new baby at home, and I was incredibly sleep deprived, and I had no idea how I was going to stay awake. And I just started playing all these Johnny Mercer songs that I knew, because I knew he loved Johnny Mercer. And I played this song, I Thought About You, and I started playing, I took a trip on a train, and I heard Frank Sinatra singing, so did I. So I can say I sang a duet with Frank Sinatra. It was a short duet, but I can say I sang a duet with him.
That sounds wonderful. I'm sorry I interrupted you to catch that story about Cole Porter,
That's
but
okay.
what has happened to that piano? Because the Waldorf is closed as it's being renovated and all of that.
I believe the piano is at Steinway being rebuilt, and it's probably, I haven't Googled it, but it's probably something some of you people out there watching tonight, if you Google it, you'll probably find out more than I know. I believe Steinway's rebuilding it, refurbishing it, and it's going to be on display more as a museum piece. I was one of the last people who was actually using it as a full-time piano.
That's amazing. Yeah. All right, so I interrupted your story.
Well, now where was I? So I was playing these gigs, and then I started writing pop songs. And I wrote a pop song with a young man who had a publishing deal with BMG Music, and it was a love song, but it got picked up by a Christian group called Anointed, and the song was called "Adore You." And BMG Nashville got a Christian writer to make it a spiritual song instead of a love song. Well, a love song, but more of a love song to Jesus than a love song to a person. And the song went to #1 on the gospel charts and the Christian charts. And that was a very exciting time in my life. The record was nominated for a Grammy. I think it was Anointed's second or third album. It was an album called Under the Influence. And they still sing it, and it was a very big song. But what happened right around that time was I started writing songs about my experience of being a mom. And I started doing concerts of my own, not at the Waldorf, in little place venues on the Upper West Side. And all these moms would come up to me afterwards and say, "You're singing about my life." So I decided, back in the 90s, I did a sort of an Indiegogo. Before there was Indiegogo or Kickstarter, I raised a bunch of money, and I made an album called "If Mama Ain't Happy, Ain't Nobody Happy." And I think it resonates more than ever during these COVID times and during times of such uncertainty. You really look to the mothers who are under so much stress right now. And I just wish all the moms who are watching to have lots of courage, and I wish all the children who are watching, call your moms, tell them you love them. But anyway, so that's what my albums have been about, motherhood. And then I got, I can play one of those songs for you if you like further on in the evening if you want. But what happened was those songs got the interest of a Broadway producer. And I signed with a Broadway producer to turn a bunch of those songs into a Broadway show. And I got very close, and the deal didn't happen. But I did I did the BMI songwriting workshop. I don't know if you've heard of the BMI musical theater workshop. It's kind of a musical theater boot camp. So I just did 2 years of that workshop, and I'm working on several theater pieces right now, and I have interest in them. And theater, as we know, is dark right now, but I'm hoping that when things open back up, I'll be ready with some theater pieces that I'm working on.
Well, I'm sure you will be, and we're so happy to have you here. Ashok says we have a choral music group in Trivandrum and Kerala called the Mbs Youth Choir. We sing national integration songs in different Indian languages. The group was formed in 1988 after the renowned music director Mbs Srinivasan, no relation, who was an exponent of choral music, and I'm a coordinator of the choir. In India, they also have, Western classical music is something that there are folks who practice and learn and give their lives to learning Western music as well. So there's obviously rich, deep tradition there. And Ashok says even that little bit of singing, he says, is beautiful. Oh. And Apollo asks, did Eartha Kitt ever sing at the Waldorf? She sang Cole Porter like no other.
She did sing Cole Porter like no other. And I think she did sing at the Waldorf, but she sang in the Empire Room, which was a a big jazz and venue for jazz singers, people like Eartha Kitt. But by the time I got there, that Empire Room wasn't booking those kinds of artists anymore. But Eartha Kitt sang at the Cafe Carlyle, which was across the hall from where I've done my Madeline T gig. And in fact, one night when the piano player for the Woody Allen band was late, I had to go play Bobby Short's piano. I had to play the cocktail hour until that guy showed up. So I did play the piano on the stage where Eartha Kitt sang at the Cafe Carlyle, just so you know. But I wanted to mention to Ashok, is it Ashok? Yeah. I wanted to mention to Ashok that I come from a long family of choral musicians. My mother was the founder of the choral department at the New England Conservatory of Music in 1947. She was only 26, and she was the first woman to hold a major departmental chair at a major conservatory in the United States. And she toured the Soviet Union and China and Israel. And if you look her up, if you Google Lorna Cook deVaron, you'll find a huge choral influence in my mom. And my son, Joe, is at Yale getting his doctorate in choral conducting. So maybe Ashok, maybe we can put some choral stuff together.
I love that. Let's see here. Mark says, have you ever played a church organ? Those are amazing instruments to play. I haven't played, but friends have.
You know, I haven't played a church organ, but I'm going to tell you about a very fun gig I had. It was a scary gig and a fun gig because I'm reminded of it because I played synthesizer organ. I was the sub for an off-Broadway show called Tony and Tina's Wedding. I don't know, Sree, I don't know if you
yes, I didn't get to go, but that was quite a sensation for many years in New York. Yeah.
It was a crazy Italian wedding, and the band was supposed to be a bad wedding band. So I played the band leader. And so I had to wear this fancy wig and some crazy cat suit and play synthesizer and everything from Hot, Hot, Hot to Electric Slide to Madonna songs to the Olympic theme song when they brought out the cake. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. So that was my experience. That's as close as I've gotten to an organ. I haven't really played a church organ.
Nice. Nikhil is giving you the nice emoji of the two hands raised. So that's a good compliment. And what we're going to do now is take a little break so that we can thank our sponsors. That's how we pay the bills around here. But we are going to come back, and Tina deVaron is going to perform in a few minutes. So she's taking requests. So in your comments, tell us what song I'm going to take her off camera as we do the sponsor thank yous. And everybody, please go in and post which songs you would like to hear. She said Lennon, McCartney, or Cole Porter, Joni Mitchell, Gershwin, Cole Porter. All of those are up for grabs tonight. So we're going to really have some fun, and we're going to give her a chance to just catch a breath and talk to our production assistant, put him to work, give him some errands to run around the house.
I'm going to practice my Cole Porter. You go. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back. Thank you. Folks, you're tuned in to Positivity Night like no other, because we're going to hear some beautiful music from singer-songwriter Tina deVaron, and you're going to really enjoy this. It's going to be so much fun. But we need to thank our sponsors who make this show possible. This is how we are able to bring you the show every single day for more than 170 days. Today's the 173rd episode. So let's thank our sponsors as we get in here. We want to thank them for helping us be on the air with you every single day. We want to thank Nunbelievable, divinely delicious cookies on a mission. Each handcrafted cookie provides a meal to those in need. One cookie equals one meal. 20% off with the code Sree, S-R-E-E. Nunbelievable, divinely delicious cookies on a mission. Also, big thank you to Muckrack Academy, Fundamentals of Social Media, free certification now available, mrac.co/social, mrac.co/social. More than 4,000 people have taken this course, and so should you. We are also grateful to our friend Charles Cunnan Carroll for sponsoring us. The Inventor in You is a step-by-step guide to your first invention, and Charles has more than 80 patents. His Twitter handle is Inventor Charles, at Inventor Charles, and his book is guidetoinvention.com. We are also very happy to tell you about She's on Call, a show that runs on Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern. And today, Dr. Sujana and Dr. Marina had two wonderful doctors who talked about very timely issues. We heard about rehab medicine for COVID victims from Dr. Monica Gutierrez, and Dr. Marsha Harris, who's a colon and rectal surgeon, talked about Chadwick Boseman and his tragic passing and what are some things we can all do. And one of the messages from her, please get your colon checked, get a colonoscopy. If you're 50, you must do it. If you have family history, please do it at 40. If you have no family history, then do it at 45 or 50. I did it at 40 because we had a very aggressive doctor. It certainly is not pleasant, but there's no pain and it's really worth doing. So I urge you to please get your colonoscopy done, your colon checked. And then we also want to say that promotional consideration is provided by the new Indian film Sadak 2 has just premiered and is now streaming straight to your screen with subtitles on hotstar.com/US, hotstar.com/US. And one final promo for now, we want to say hello to our friends at One Shared World and their Interdependence Summit, Rise or Fall Together, Thursday, September 17th from 9 to 12 this Eastern Time. This is a free event with some fabulous folks, including Renee Fleming, the world-acclaimed singer, David Nabarro, the WHO Special Envoy for COVID-19, Jairam Ramesh, the Indian MP, and K. Krishan Basu, the UN Human Rights Champion and founder and president of the Green Hope Foundation. And now we are going to go back to our conversation and music with Tina deVaron. Here she is joining us. She got a little break, and here she is. Hi, Tina.
Hi.
So, have you decided what you're going to perform? And I should ask you this directly because I'm sure I haven't got your last name exactly right. So please pronounce it for me. I should have done this off camera.
Well, it's fine. It's one of those names. It's actually a Spanish name. So the Americanized way people say it is deVaron.
deVaron.
If you were in Spain, you'd say deVaron, or you'd say deVaron. So it got changed at Ellis Island when my dad got off the boat. So
what town in Spain?
What?
What town in Spain?
My father was born in Madrid.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
And you go back? Did you go back with him?
I never went back with him, but I have been. I have been back. I guess I went back with him when I was really little. I'm forgetting, but he came over in 1924, and he didn't go back very much. But we have wonderful cousins there, and we have cousins in the Madrid area, but we also have a lot of cousins in Andalusia, in a little town between Sevilla and Huelva called Valverde del Camino. So if anybody's watching from Valverde, buenas tardes, buenas noches, buenos días.
And if you've shared this on your Facebook, I'm sure they'll find us. Do you perform in Spanish?
A little bit. I mean, I know some of the Spanish. I would take requests if somebody came in. I have a few sort of Spanish standards that I would sing, like Bésame Mucho or Solamente una vez by Agustín Lara, who is an amazing Mexican songwriter. Yeah. But now let's go back. Let's see. Should we talk about those requests that people want?
Yes, we absolutely should. Let's see. Some more have come in. Pradnya is asking for Blue Skies, Anything Goes, Raindrops and Roses.
Oh my God.
Sound of Music.
Okay. So we're going to run out of time if we do all of these. So let's.
Yeah, exactly.
We have What Is This Thing Called Love by Cole Porter. We have Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell. We also have A Case of You by Joni Mitchell. I think we could do maybe half of each of those. I mean, if we do all of them, we're going to be here till midnight. I mean, I'm fine with that, but you need to tell me how much time I have. We had a request for, what was the other one? We had a request for.
I'm just going back up to see what are all the songs that came in, but we also had Let's Misbehave,
Right.
This Thing Called Love, Case of You. Someone's also asked for Imagine, Let It Be. So you pick whatever you would like to play.
Well, I think Let's Misbehave is great, but I can't. I don't have that in my head. I would have to do that from a book. So I'd rather do songs that I can just remember and play.
That's perfect. That's perfect, and we're so grateful. Please tell us what you're going to be singing so that our audience can keep along.
I haven't played this. This is Cole Porter's What Is This Thing Called Love? And I think it's great for COVID because it's just a song about, falling in love, but it's also a song about uncertainty. What is this thing called love? This funny thing called love. How can I stop this mystery? Why should it make a fool of me? I saw you there one wonderful day. You took my heart and you threw it away. That's why I asked the Lord in heaven above, what is this thing called love?
Wow, thank you. That is awesome. I want to applaud, but it'll be just the only sound of me applauding and Peter. But thank you. I know people are loving it. Folks, tune in, share this with your friends and family. As you're hearing, it's as if we're back at the Carlisle or at the Waldorf, listening to a wonderful singer.
That's right. So let's do. So, it's interesting. I've been thinking a lot about popular music, especially in this time of Black Lives Matter and COVID and all the upheaval, all the social upheaval, all the social justice stuff that's going on. And I've been thinking a lot about the women in popular music and how important it was to hear the voice of somebody like Joni Mitchell, the songwriter Joni Mitchell. So I think both sides now would be a great idea. I think I'm not sure I have time for the whole thing though. So goes and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. I'm going to go direct to the last verse. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds. I've looked at life that way. Now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say I've changed, but something's lost and something's gained in living every day. I looked at life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. Oof. That's a heck of a song, I have to say.
Heck of a song by a heck of a singer. Thank you so much. Here are all the comments coming in from various people. Pradnya says, I love this song. It always reminds me of that scene from Love Actually with Emma Thompson crying. And let's see, all these, here's the applause coming in. Okay. And Sudha says she has a nice voice and very good expression of feelings. We love hearing that. Ashok is watching in India, so it's already morning. Really a great day, feeling relaxed and positive. And this is a gentleman who's told us that he and his daughter both had COVID, are now okay. He lost his wife earlier this year, but he has found this show to be positive for him and has been with us so many days through COVID. And so thank you, Ashok, for being here. If we can put a little bit of lightness in your day, we are so grateful to be able to do that. Apollo says this is a treat, and he's in Vegas, so he knows where he can catch good music. This is just I'm just so enjoying this. So thank you. Pradnya says, I was singing along to Billy Joel in my car today and thinking, why don't I do this more often? And Mark says, great song. Ashok says, really beautiful singing. And so anyway, all these comments are coming in. So this is, yeah.
So I'm thinking that one of the most positive songwriters in the history of American popular music was Irving Berlin. And somebody asked for Blue Skies. Didn't somebody ask for Blue Skies? That's an Irving Berlin song. And it's very positive. So I wonder if we should do that one.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm excited.
I think it's in the hard drive here. Let's see what I remember. I'm trying to do this without getting any songbooks out. You know, Irving Berlin was from Eastern Europe, from a shtetl. He came here when he was 8. His name was Izzy Berlin. And he started out his work as a songwriter in his early teens. He would song plugger. He'd go plug other people's songs, and on the Lower East Side of New York. And then he became, of course, one of the most successful songwriters in history. And this is one of his most successful songs. Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies. I see birds singing a song, nothing but blue skies from now on. Never saw the world shining so bright, never saw things feeling so right, noticing the days hurrying by. When you're in love, oh how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies from now on. We're looking for blue skies from now on.
Mark says, truly amazing performer. My mom in India says, nice performance, Tina. Thank you. You made me cry in the best way. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. Thank you, Tina, for such wonderful entertainment. Love both sides now. Brought back lots of memories from Charlie and Mary. Charlie's one of our sponsors, so you're making me look good in front of him. Thank you. And Ashok says, thank you for your thoughts and words. We are keeping well and good now. Daryl says, can we vote Tina on every week? Vote yes. And we can't afford to have her on every week. This was promotional appearance by Tina. If you wanted to have her perform every week, we'd have to hire her, and we can't afford that. But we hope that she's performing very soon, very everywhere she can. And Pradnya says, yes, blue skies. So we're so grateful. Do you want to try something else, a change of pace? Maybe one of the Lennon and McCartney songs?
Sure. Somebody asked for Imagine.
Yes.
Do you think that's too heavy to play, or you think we should try it?
You should try it. Yeah.
What? I think I have about 2 verses in my memory. I may not be able to remember the whole thing. I'll try. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. I got a little emotional with that one. It's
Yes,
when you really start to think about those lyrics and the message that he's still sending all of us, you know.
And you may have seen the news that his killer was denied parole just this past week, and this awful. Okay, here is Apollo saying that Imagine suits the mood of this tumult we're in, and Mark says one of my favorite songs. It's what I wish the world to become, and maybe I'm a dreamer too. The singing was ecstatic, says Ashok. Okay. And Daryl says one of the greatest songs ever written. Vandana says this is incredible. Thank you. Oh my God, yes, Imagine. Mark says, can we get a music sponsor just for Tina to be on every week? We'll have to work on that, Mark.
You know, I also have to tell you my Paul McCartney story. Can I tell you my Paul McCartney story?
Yes, of course.
So at the very beginning of this crazy gig for kids at the Carlisle, the Tea with Madeline, I was playing for a 3-year-old who asked for You Are My Sunshine, which is a great song for positivity night, right? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. And I look to the right, and in the door, there's this person I recognize, and I don't know who it is. And I'm singing, you know, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take. And I'm thinking, it's Paul McCartney. It's Paul. So I finished the song, Take My Sunshine Away. And I finished the set, and during my break, I asked the manager if I can go say hi to Paul McCartney, because at the Carlisle, you kind of have to ask permission if you want to say hi to a famous person. So I did. I went down to the lobby, and Paul McCartney was just getting out of the elevator. And I said, Mr. McCartney, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Tina. And he said, oh, yes, I wonderful playing. And I said, I just want you to know, you are one of the reasons I became a musician. And he was so nice. He said, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for telling me that. I'm going to take that wonderful thought with me out into the afternoon. And by the way, I have a gig tonight. Are you coming? And he had a show at Madison Square Garden that night. So I went, I got a hot ticket on the street and I went to the show. That's my Paul McCartney story.
A great Paul McCartney story. I wanted to ask you if you had a chance to see this film that came out last year.
Not yet.
I strong. I urge you to watch it. You will have fun. I cried during it. This is a story about a world where no one's heard of the Beatles, and the Beatles didn't exist. And this musician, you know this from the trailer, who knows all the songs, starts to write the songs because no one else knows the Beatles anymore, and he becomes famous. And it's just a fabulous movie. I loved every minute of it. I cried in one portion, laughed a lot, and so you must watch it. It's
the great thing about COVID is I could watch it tonight.
Yes, you could. Yeah, yes, you could. Let's see. Lots of comments coming in still. Neil says some John Denver would be great. Ashok says John Denver, Country Roads. Pradnya says, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Sneha says, your music is so moving. Thank you for reminding us that music can be such a powerful tool for revolutionary love. And Apollo says, thank you. And one of my friends who's online, she says that she was the person who said that there's Eliza Cooper. She says, oh, thank you. You made me cry in the best way. And that is just so lovely to hear. And so many other comments coming in. Susan says it's a lovely film. Vandana says the film made me cry. The ending, oh man. Neil says, can you play In My Life by the Beatles? And so
it's a heavy song for COVID times. There are places I remember all my life. Though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some are gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. Of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you, and these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. But I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. My life, I love you more. Thank you. I can't hear you. I'm not hearing you. Oh.
That's me. Sorry, I muted myself. I didn't want to step on any of your music, so that was on me. I was saying that the person
I did jump in on the song.
Neil, who asked for the song, said that it was his wedding song, and he and his wife Pam have been married 18 years last week. So this is a nice touch, and thank you so much for that. Ashok is asking for Hotel California. Neil is saying thank you. Hallelujah, please. That's Daryl's request. And great performance, so touching, and a good reminder of the importance of music in difficult times. And Daryl says, I was upset when Rolling Stone magazine named Nirvana as the #1 rock band of the 20th century. It's the Beatles and always will be. There is no comparison. Nirvana was good, I'll give them that, but they were not great. The Beatles were always great.
I have to tell you, I can tell you a story about In My Life, that song, because when I was playing those jobs at Cole Porter's piano, 5 hours a night, 5 nights a week, from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. And I would say goodbye to my 2 babies, my little one, and my toddler and my baby, and then my preschooler and toddler, my 2 sons, and I would say goodbye to them, and I'd go off in my evening gown and play music, and I would miss them. I would miss them. And that was one of the songs that I played, that I was sort of playing as a love song to my husband and to my children, sort of an incantation to remind myself and remind them how much I love them. So in my life, it's a very special song to me.
Such a beautiful song. Thank you very much. Marina Thomas asks, what is your favorite kind of piano to play? And do you have a home recording studio setup, or do you record in another studio?
Oh, Marina, thanks for the question. My albums that I've made have mostly been recorded in other studios, except for Tuckerman's Ravine. I recorded a lot of that at home. I run Logic, and I have my own little home studio. I call it my own little home rig. My piano that I am playing on, this is a very special piano. You can't really see it because of the way my laptop is, but it's a Steinway. It was built in 1915, and it was actually it belonged to my grandmother, who was a composer as well, and a very good musician, very good pianist. And then it belonged to my mother, and now it belongs to me. So it's come right down through the generations, and it was bought at Steinway probably in about it was built in 1915. It was probably bought from them in about 1917. And it's a very special piano. So thanks for the question.
Pradnya asked, what does Tina absolutely love to sing?
Oh my gosh, I love so many songs. I would love to play you one of my songs.
Please.
So which one? God, which one should I do? You're gonna Positivity. Okay. Well, here's a song, one of the very ones that I wrote about being a mom, and it's called "Nothing But the Love," and it's one of the songs that I wrote that was for me a signpost that I was writing good songs and I should keep writing these songs. And it's a song about how you want your children to remember. You want your children to remember all the good things, all the love. And Sree, I mean, you have 17-year-old twins right now at your house. Is that right?
Yes.
So I'm sure you can relate. You don't, there are moments when maybe you say the wrong thing or you're not as loving as you want to be. And this was my meditation on how I want to be as loving as possible, but I want them to remember the love. And I think this right now during COVID, this goes out to all the moms and all the children all over the world, because we want children to feel safe. We want all children to feel loved. We want them to have memories of being safe and being loved and being treated fairly and being treated with love, and knowing that they can be loved in their home, in their town, in their country. So I send this out as a prayer to moms and children everywhere. It goes like this. I'd lie across a river just to make a bridge for you. Walk through fire, stop a bullet, nothing I won't do. But more than this, the day to day is what I'm thinking of. 'Cause I want you to remember nothing but love. I've already broken vows I made before you came. To never let you cry too long, to always feel your pain. When days fill up and time to play is never long enough. Still, I wish you could remember nothing but love. except nothing but the love would be like living on dessert, never having to say goodbye, falling down and never getting hurt. Today we laugh all afternoon and make up songs to sing. Sunlight floods down on us while I push you in the swing. As you reach your toes up to the branches high above, feels like I am lifted up by nothing but the love. I lie across a waterfall to make a bridge, walk through fire, stop a bullet, nothing I won't do. More than this, the day to day, is what I'm thinking of. 'Cause underneath each breath I take, each word I say, each smile and each frown too, is nothing but
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. My class.
We have to somehow pipe in like real-time audience around the world so they can all applaud at the same time
Thank
and
you.
watch. That was just amazing. You said your sons are also musicians. What is your advice to young people who are thinking of arts careers in performance arts, and they're told by family members that it's hard to make money and go do something else? What do you say to them?
I say follow your dreams, but know that you have to work very, very hard. And don't be afraid of making sacrifices. Don't buy into having to have lots of things or having to have the latest handbag or the latest clothing or the latest trip to the latest place. Work on your craft, work on your art. It will reward you in ways that you have no idea. And the path truly is the way. I find at this point in my life with grown children, there is so much more I want to do artistically. And it's partly the reason I can dream of these new projects and work on these new projects is that I've been working all along. It's hard to get into the arts later on. So my advice is go for it, but take the best possible care of yourself you possibly can. I mean, it's not a road that you can pretend, don't believe the myths of the rock musician or of the artist who sort of leads a self-destructive life. It's not like that. You have to take the best possible care of yourself and the best possible care of your affairs and your friendships and your relationships. But I say go for it. I know. See, now you're the dad of two 17-year-olds, and do they both want to be artists?
No, that was not the reason I asked, though. Okay. I wish more they were, they're interested in other things, but we always wanted them to be more artistic. And my daughter here is a wonderful painter, and that's one of her pieces of art there. But we have a lot of folks who have an Indian background who are watching, and Indian families are not the most accommodating to veering off the doctor, lawyer track, engineer track, as you might know. My Jewish friends tell me the same thing about their families as well.
It's true, but I think that I think you have to be practical, but I think that there are ways to constantly work on your art and your craft, and I have to be honest. I came along at a time when I got those jazz gigs in the big hotels and those, like the Cole Porter's piano gig, and those were union jobs. Those were those were jobs that paid a salary and health benefits, and those jobs are hard to come by these days. That is true. But I think as we come back, we say build back better. I think we are going to be very cognizant of how the arts help people, and I hope that there will be ways for artists to always make a living.
Yes, I hope so too, and thank you for that. I'm just going to read a couple more comments, then I hope you'll think of a song that we can all do a sing-along to as your final song for tonight. We have someone saying, hope you do a kind of master class someday. It's really wonderful to hear you perform and talk about your experiences. Daryl says, if you folks like live music, please look at the Flushing Town Hall series Global Mashups happening this summer via Zoom. Check out the archives at Facebook/Flushing Town Hall. And he's linking to Haiti Meets Egypt on September 1st and 2nd. And I want to recommend that Tina reach out to Flushing Town Hall. It's one of the great art nonprofits. So you can take a look at that as well. Apollo says, Nothing But the Love is a great song. Thank you, Tina, says Mark. I'm applauding over here in North Carolina. It's nothing but love, really feeling no words. So you're touching so many people tonight. Jonathan says, great songs, great show. Thank you. Ashok says, shine wherever you are. And Vega says, this is Eddie Vega says, awesome. And Mark says, can I add to that? I would urge them to work on the business side as well. So you may know the performance side, but aren't as good on the business side. So work on both. Do you agree with that now, especially?
I absolutely agree with that. I actually have learned how to run QuickBooks. I've run small publishing companies. I've had to collect money from publishing licenses from songs that were hits. So I know how to run all those things. A lot of times when you take part in festivals, you have to hand in a spreadsheet of every penny in, every penny out. So yeah, we have to be able to do both. You really have to be a Renaissance person in the arts, but there's no reason why not. Just work hard.
Ashok says, my youngest daughter, Meenakshi, has completed her degree in physics and plans to do her postgraduate and follow her passion as a teacher. That's awesome. And please be careful of what you perform for free and take advantage of your skills. So this is what we were talking about. Rose says, what a delight. Jewish families, or at least my mother, believed we should all learn piano. So that's sweet.
Well, now, what's a song we could all sing?
Obladi Blada, I don't know.
That we could all sing along. I mean, didn't somebody ask for My Favorite Things from The Sound of Music?
Yes, they did.
Well, now that's...
So I'll tell you some of the other songs. So they asked for that. They asked for Country Roads by John Denver, some Billy Joel, anything that you think many people will know and that you remember off the top of your head, we would be grateful for.
I think probably My Favorite Things.
Okay.
Because that one is something we do at the Carlisle every single Saturday at the Tea with Madeline. And Rose asked for What a Wonderful World. Oh my gosh. Can I tell you my Billy Joel story? Do we have time?
Yes, of course.
So I got asked to play the cocktail at the jazz hour at the Carlisle through a whole summer. After the Madeline Tea, they asked me to do, the Madeline Tea would not happen during the summer, but they asked me to play Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays, 5 to 8. So one day I was playing my gig and I looked through my piano lid, which is up, and I see this person staring at me like very, very glaring at me, and it's Billy Joel. And, you know, Frank Sinatra was scary. Billy Joel's also scary. So I played some songs. I didn't play any of his songs. And he was at the bar and he was drinking. He wasn't supposed to be drinking at that time. Apparently he was sober at that time, but he was having champagne. And so I went over and I said to him, I would assume I should not play any of your songs. And he said, you assume correctly. we shared a few anecdotes. And then I went and took my break and I heard him take over my piano. And he was playing and the crowd was going crazy. And then when I had to go back to work, I had to basically follow Billy Joel. which was not something I really, I had to do it. It was my job. So I started playing Night and Day, by Cole Porter, and everybody was clapping, and the room was in a pretty good shape. But then I decided to play another Johnny Mercer song. Johnny Mercer is sort of my default when a famous person is there. So I started playing One for My Baby and One More for the Road. I started playing this band. And Billy Joel walks over to the piano. And he goes, "What key are you in?" I said, "Well, I'm in B flat, Mr. Joel, but I can play it whatever key you want." And he says, "Give me the microphone." So I gave him the microphone, and he started singing. It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story you ought to know. He's singing and I'm playing. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Making one for my baby and one more for and the crowd is going nuts. And this is before smartphones, so I have no record of this. Anyway, the crowd's going nuts, and he looks at me and he doesn't know the next verse. And he goes, "What's the next one?" I go, "It's 2:45. What is it? I've got the routine. Put another nickel in the machine. Put another, and I fed him the whole verse. And we got to the end of the song, but I fed him the entire song. So I would give him the line, and then anyway, I just wanted to share that with everybody because it was one of those sublime moments.
I'm so happy to hear these stories, and I'm going to share a Billy Joel song story, but not from 2 feet away, but from 500 feet away. We went to see Billy Joel in the nosebleed seats of Madison Square Garden, and he has this amazing moment, which if any of you have seen the show, because you can't, when at Madison Square Garden, you're not watching him play on the piano because he's too tiny. You're looking at the big screen above his head, right?
Right.
And so he's playing along. And then he looks up at one point, "Oh my God, I thought that was my dad," because he's become old himself, and we all remember him as a young, beautiful young man, and now he's like this old man with no hair, like me. But he must obviously say that several times, every night. He probably makes the same line, but it's so authentic as he says it because he's just above his head the whole time. And I also recommend, if no one's seen it yet, the last play at Shea, which is the Billy Joel story about the last concert performed at Shea Stadium, the old Met Stadium before it closed. And part of the drama in that is connected to Paul McCartney because Paul is supposed to perform in the last song. And I won't give away what happens, but there's a lot of drama about getting Paul to this gig on time. So if you haven't seen it, a great documentary and so much energy and so much fun. So if you're a Billy Joel fan, you must check out Last Play at Shea. Shea is the pronunciation. And Vandana says you played for Billy Joel. And several people have now mentioned the 200th episode. And Ashok says, please try to bring her back on the 200th episode. Do you have any Stevie Wonder or Prince stories? Those are two truly great musicians as well.
I don't have stories, but I love both of their music. I remember the song, the Stevie Wonder song, New Year's Day to celebrate. What was that song? I just called to say I love you. Remember that song?
Yes, of course.
Great song. I remember one time at the Waldorf, a lady came up, she put a $10 bill on the piano, and she said, "Can you play I Just Called to Say Hello?" But I don't want to run out of time before we do our sing-along.
So please pick a song you like, and we have all the time in the world for you. You're amazing.
Well, I think we should do I think we should do My Favorite Things.
Let's do it.
Because it's a song about not being afraid, thinking of your favorite things. And I think just take a minute right now to think of, for each of us listening and each of us participating, to think of our favorite things. One of my favorite things these days is we have a rooftop terrace on our Upper West Side building, and my husband and I go up and eat supper on the roof. And so, gosh, maybe we should sing Up on the Roof. Well, we'll do my favorite things first. But I love having supper with Peter on the roof. And one of my other favorite things is spending time with my kids. So that's mine right now. If you all want to meditate for a minute. One of the things I talk about at the Carlisle when I played this song, My Favorite Thing, which is from The Sound of Music by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein Jr., is that it was also the iconic song for a famous American jazz musician. It was really one of his most famous songs. And so I usually have a contest. Should we do this, Sree? Should we do this online? Who is the famous American jazz musician, saxophone player, who covered My Favorite Things in a way that just changed the song forever? Can anybody tell us on the chat who that is? Anybody going to tell us?
All right, we'll see if they jump in. So the question was, who is the jazz musician who took My Favorite Things and mixed it up a little bit and changed the song forever? So
he made an iconic recording, and McCoy Tyner was the piano player. That's my only hint. But I'm not talking about McCoy Tyner. I'm talking about the horn player. Who was the horn player? Okay, I'm going to play the song now. I'm going to do it as a jazz waltz. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm golden mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. Sing along. These are a few of my favorite things: cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things: when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Anybody remember the third verse? Here we go. Girls in white dresses with satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose, and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into COVID-free springs. These are a few of my favorite things: when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. When Sree asked me to play a song, and I know you're singing along all over the world, hoping for peace and good health and safety for everyone. That's one of my most favorite things.
wow. I love that. Thank you so much. People are guessing, so don't give away the answer. Coltrane, Gillespie, Coltrane, Dizzy, and Pradnya singing along. John Coltrane says Alan Katz, and Ashok is singing along in India. Coltrane says Susan. Coltrane says Mark. LOL says Apollo COVID sing-alongs, and Mark says another possible person that made the song iconic was Louis Armstrong. Rose says bravo, fantastic, brava. And Ashok is saying that his favorite thing is sitting in his Kerala window made with bamboo. So let's hear the answer.
The answer is John Coltrane. John Coltrane. So it was one of his biggest hits, and he became known for it. He really reinvented the wheel. He was one of the great jazz masters. And that was one of the songs in the American Songbook that he took and really made his own.
That is so special. Daryl says, I think I must have woken my neighbors singing along too loudly.
I love it. I think singing is very important. I think, you know, one of the things about singing the blues, when you have the blues and you sing the blues, you lose the blues. So, bless you. My son Joe just came home. That's him singing. But like if you say, woke up this morning, feeling round for my shoe. I woke up this morning, feeling round for my shoe. I had those COVID-19, gosh, I wish I feel better blue. You know, and any of you could make up your own blues. You just sing a line and then you repeat that line and then you make up a new line. And it'll just make you feel better.
I think you said you might sing Up on the Roof.
Sure, why not?
All right, hold on. Let me Google the lyrics so that people can sing along with us. We'd love everybody to join us as we sing Up on the Roof. And
because when you put that up there, don't put up who the writers were. Can anybody guess who the writer was? Who wrote this song? It was covered by the Drifters, but they didn't write it.
Oh, I know because I saw the musical about where this is. Shh. Okay, people guess who wrote the song.
I'm gonna sing it. But you know, there's a great recording of this by Laura Nyro and Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells on an album called "Gonna Take a Miracle." So just all of you, I just want to hip you all to this incredible recording of Up on the Roof. But right now we'll do this. When this old world starts getting me down, and people are much too much for me to face. Are you singing along? I climb right up to the top of the stairs, and all my cares just drift right into space. On the roof, it's peaceful as can be. And there the world below won't bother me. Let me tell you now, I come home feeling tired and beat. I go up where the air is fresh and sweet. I get away from the hustling crowd and all that rat race noise down in the street. At night the stars put on a show for free. Sorry, it's not even very good. But darling, you can share it all with me. I keep on telling you, right smack dab in the middle of town, I found a paradise that's trouble free. And if this world starts getting you down, there's room enough for two up on the roof. There's room enough. There's always room enough, baby. There's room enough for two upon the roof. Thank you. I hope everybody sang along. I hope everybody made a lot of noise.
They did. I made noise here, and Susan guesses Carole King, and
She's
Rose
right.
guesses Carole King.
That's right. It was Carole King and Jerry Goffin. Jerry, at that point, she was married to Jerry Goffin, and he wrote the lyrics. She wrote the music.
We say amazing night. Thank you. And Ashok says, you made my day. Today's Onam, even though we have no celebrations because of COVID. We'll watch the show again later. Apollo says, Happy Onam. This is a wonderful way to celebrate it. I have to say, Daryl says that this show has really cheered me up a lot. I didn't even know I needed cheering up. Music always does that for me. Thank you, Tina. And Mark says, I love some great blues music and jazz. Makes me miss the legendary Dr. John. And Susan's giving you applause. And Ashok says, singing along. Rose says, love that song. Now I'll always think of you and Peter eating lunch on your apartment's roof. That is just great. So I want to let you go. Any final words for us as we look into, we have a whole week ahead of us of work for lots of people. For those of us who are maybe underemployed or unemployed or worried about friends and family who are sick, how do you cheer us up? How do you put some pep in our step?
Well, I think everybody should sing. I think even if you're not a singer, you should sing. Singing is one of the oldest things that we have done as human beings. And I think that a lot of people think because they're not a singer or they can't carry a tune or whatever, that they shouldn't be singing. But I think that's nonsense. I think if you want to crank up your favorite artist, you can sing along with them. If you just want to sing while you're doing the dishes or while you're getting ready for work or sing when you're mad at somebody or sing when you're happy, just sing. Singing is medicine. Singing is medicine. And I also want to say you can find me on Spotify. All my albums are there and iTunes. So.
Oh, that is good. That is really good to know. Thank you. We should have led with that so everyone could find you. And Eddie says, gives you a heart. And Ashok says, looking forward to seeing you in Kerala. So there you go. You have an invitation to go to Kerala in southern India.
Ashok, we have to talk about choral music. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And thank you. And I will let you go. Please thank Peter. He was a great assistant tonight. And he did your lighting really well and was feeding you lines and other things along the way. Singing is definitely medicine, says Susan. And Mark says, I sing and dance and can't even carry a tune. Sometimes I hum and sometimes I just sing out loud. Singing is great. But then again, I can't dance either. And Mark was on our show talking about allyship and how we can be allies of the Black community at such difficult times. Folks, go back and find that episode. It's called How to Be an Ally. And Apollo's going right now to Spotify. I'm going to go to Spotify after we're off the air here. Everyone, please find Tina and please follow her. She is amazing. A revelation tonight, and I'm so excited. And for those of you who are not from New York, who haven't had the pleasure of going to the Waldorf, it's obviously a famous hotel, but it's also a place where they have great music. The Hotel Carlisle, where legends play, and you know that you were listening to a legend tonight. Thank you so much, Tina. We wish you the very best. Everyone, please follow her on Twitter and follow her website, Tina, devaron.com. And I know she would love for you to follow her on Twitter as well. So with that, I will let you go, Tina. Thank you very much. And thank you to Peter as well.
Bye. Much love to everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Wow, what a night and what a way to start our week. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tina. You are awesome. And we'll never forget this evening. In the middle of the pandemic, you stepped up and helped us all feel better. People around the world. I'm off to Spotify as well. Ashok is already subscribed, and Rose is tweeting and sharing, and so many great comments coming in here. Neil says, not everybody. My wife's grandmother once said, honey bunch, don't sing, even Christmas carols. So that's funny. And thank you all for being here. One of the things that we do on this show is after we ask Kimberly Crenshaw, the great Columbia Law School professor, how we can be allies of the Black community during the crisis, she said, say their names. And so every night we say their names here, and I'm about to do that. I want to tell you that we believe there is tremendous value in saying these names every night. You're seeing a photograph on the right and a painting on the left that's the cover of Time magazine by Titus Kaffer. And painting, you can see a young mother with a child removed from her. You see the blue glove of the pandemic. On the right is Larsenia Floyd with her son, George. and she would die 2 years, almost to the day that he would be murdered in Minneapolis. Now they're buried together in Houston, and very, very sad. And so our friend Rahajan, who is watching tonight, he did something incredible. He took the list of names and typed them up for us, and he's updating them, and he'll have a new list for us later this week. So every night we read this list so we can say their names. And Jacob Blake is on the list. He was shot. He has survived. He's paralyzed. And that was exactly 1 week ago. And I saw the news around 11 p.m. Eastern, and we'll never forget it. But let's say their names. And wherever you are in the world, hope you're at least thinking of them with me as I say these names. So I am going to just pull up the names here so that we can read them together. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Michael Dean, Tatiana Jefferson, Botham Jean, Antoine Rose II, Danny Ray Thomas, Stephon Clark, Aaron Bailey, Charlena Siobhan Lyles, Jordan Edwards, Chad Robertson, Muhammad Muhaim Jr., Terrence Crutcher, Corin Gaines, Joseph Mann, Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, Kaylin Rockmore, Janet Wilson, India Kager, Samuel Dubose. I'm going to pause there for a second and just say to all of you, you know some of these names became household names, but some of those names you've never heard before. And that's the tragedy of this. There's so many people, and every one of them had a story. Darius Stewart, Sandra Bland, Alexia Christian, William L. Chapman II, Freddie Gray Jr., Walter Scott, Eric Harris, Maya Hall, Megan Hockaday, Janice Fonville, Natasha McKenna, Jerame Reed, Tamir Rice, Akai Gurley, Tanisha Anderson, Aura Rosser, Shanique Proctor, Laquan McDonald, Michelle Cousseau, Michael Brown Jr., Eric Garner, Pearlie Golden, Gabriela Navarez, Yvette Smith, Renisha McBride, Miriam Carey, Chaim Livingston, Kayla Moore, Shelley Fry, Melissa Williams, Shalana Weldon, Alicia Thomas, Chantel Davis, Charmel Edwards, Rekia Boyd, Cherise Francis, Trayvon Martin, Aliana Stanley Jones, Ryan Boudou. We had his brother on our show talking about how he died in police custody. Tanika Wilson, Catherine Johnston, Alberta Spruill, Kendra James, Latanya Haggerty, Margaret Laverne Mitchell, Taisha Miller, Danette Daniels, Frankie Ann Perkins, Sanji Taylor in 1993, Eleanor Bumpers, 1984, Emmett Till, killed by white supremacists, August 28th, 1955. His anniversary was just 2 days ago. George Stinney Jr., convicted of murder in an unfair trial as determined in 2014 and executed in an electric chair June 16th, 1944. He was all of 14 years old. And such a tragic story. And so many tragic stories, and so many stories that we don't know. Thank you all for being here. We have two important shows coming up. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, our friend Bob Anthony, who is a terrific technology journalist and who has helped me to host some of these shows, will be on to talk about what's happening in Wisconsin. He was a journalist in Wisconsin and has lots of connections there, and he's going to bring some guests, and we're going to talk about what's happening on the ground in Wisconsin. So please join us and please participate. And then we're going to talk on Tuesday at 11 a.m. for our 175th show, the WHO Explains Mass Gatherings. Maurizio Barbesi is going to be with us. He is the WHO scientist and expert on sporting events, mass gatherings. He's based in Geneva. And Dalia Samhouri will be with us. She leads health emergency preparedness in WHO's office in Cairo. They'll both be with us, as will Amanat Kuller, who writes about health for Scroll. 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 5 p.m. in Geneva and in Cairo, and 8:30 p.m. in India. So a different time, 11 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday, September 1st. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your support. We want to say promotional consideration provided by Please check out hotstar.com/US and The Inventor in You by Charles Cunnan Carroll, a step-by-step guide to your first invention. He's a developer of more than 80 patents, including the one-handed vegetable bag that you can find in your grocery store at Inventor Charles, guidetoinvention.com. We also want to thank Muckrack Academy, Fundamentals of Social Media for journalists, PR pros, and everyone. Free certification now available, mrac.co/social, mrac.co/social. More than 4,000 people have taken that course. Big thanks also to nonbelievable.com on divinely delicious cookies on a mission. Each handcrafted cookie equals one meal. So one cookie, one meal. Please support this show and support Nonbelievable by taking 20% off with the code SREE, nonbelievable.com. And with that, we want to say thank you all very much for your support and for being here. We appreciate you very much. Weekends around here are very busy. We do 2 shows at 9 p.m. We do a radio show on WBAI, Coping with COVID-19, and we pay tribute to Chadwick Boseman live and had comments and callers from all over on WBAI 99.5 FM. We also had a show on our Sunday New York Times read-along, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, with Liza Donnelly, New Yorker cartoonist, and Dr. Follame, who is a colon and cancer expert. So they were with us. We're very grateful to them. And of course, we had She's on Call as well. So She's on Call was so good that it will now run on WBAI at 2 p.m. on WBAI 99.5 FM on Mondays at 2 p.m. So do check them out there as well, WBAI.org. Thank you very much, everybody. If you'd like to stay in touch, please email me. If you have a way that you have a suggestion for speakers, guests, collaborators, you have some other way in which you want to work together, please let me know. We'd love to talk. And another way to know when we're live is for you to use your QR code reader right now, or your phone if you have an iPhone, and take a picture of the screen, and you'll be able to watch. You'll get an alert whenever I am live, and it's not another WhatsApp group. It's just a gentle alert that I'm on the air. And with that, thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you soon. We're so grateful to you. Here are all the comments coming in. I'll send you my article on the long and short of the coronavirus infection. Rose says thank you. And Neil says Pam's grandmother was the sweetest person in the world. Apollo says thank you, Sree, Rose, Vandana, and Neil. Great show tonight. More great work from Sree, not just me, the entire team, the Digimentors team. Everybody check out our website, digimentors.group. And if you'd like a brochure, if you'd like to talk to us, if you'd like to build your own talk show like this, we'd love to build one for you or your virtual events or help you in any way. Thanks very much, everybody. So grateful to you. Bye-bye.